Okay, what's our question?
Oh,
No.
All right, welcome to the Nick's Boots podcast. My name is Shiler Mao. I'm joined here by Mike Hunter, Lucas Grassberger, and I think for the first time on the podcast, Emily Harris.
Yay.
So, and of course, producer extraordinaire Kelsey Lursbach. But Emily, you're joining us today. We're going to basically talk a little bit about Brandle, introduce it, answer any questions some people have, that we've encountered for the first month or so. And also really just kind of highlight you and the personalized customer service that we're offering here and, make sure that anyone purchasing knows who to reach out to. So, Emily, do you want to give a little introduction, a little bio on yourself?
Yeah, absolutely. I have worked for Nick's Boots for about 1.5 years now, and I'm really excited to be involved in Brandle. And what sets the customer service for Brandle apart, it's going to be very personalized, very one-on-one. It's one person that you can reach out to, so who you're gonna be talking to each time. You're not gonna get different people, different answers. It's just gonna be very personable. I'm gonna take the time to work with you and your needs and your questions each and every time you reach out to us.
Yeah, awesome. And Emily, I know you have a memory. It's like a steel trap, right? So, so you'll remember all the little nuances that you encounter with all the different customers.
Absolutely.
Okay, great. Well, thank you for that.
Yeah.
We'll talk a little bit about Brandle, the product. Lucas is here because he was involved with the R&D process. Do you want to walk us through that a little bit?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, when we were designing Brandle, trying to decide what we want to do there, we wanted it to be a classic dress boot, but, built here in Spokane. It's still got to have that PNW inspiration a little bit. We wanted to make the nicest PNW boot out there. So it's a classic dress boot, but it's got some inspirations from vintage logging boots. The heel counter is one of the most obvious examples. You see that style heel counter in a lot of PNW, I guess you can say, logging boots that predate even like the known PNW brands now from like the early 1900s.
Yep.
So that was a big part of the design. One of the big features that stands out is that brass plate. That was something we wanted, something to really catch your eye. You see someone walking down the street, you can see that brass plate and you're like, those are Brandles.
Yep.
Part of that was pulling some of the brass accents from the hardware. Brass and leather are two very similar materials, I would say.
Complementary for sure.
Yeah. Both long-lasting, patina
Yep.
very well over time. So we wanted to throw that in there somewhere as some flair. It does kind of have some inspiration from a utility standpoint. A lot of older dress boots and boots in general had like a plate in there, so you didn't wear all the way into the heel. What was it, like 1.5 years of?
Yeah, pretty much.
Of figuring this out, of R&D, getting it all put together. I think we had like 5 or 6 different iterations.
Sure.
That we worked on designs that came to us. We're like, maybe we need to change this, before we finally decided on it. Lots of sample testing. That's a big part of it. Is I don't think there isn't a single component in there that is what we use with Nick's. Like,
right.
There's no components that are shared. And so it was resourcing everything.
New supply chain. Yep.
Yeah. We went to sources in the US, Italy, Germany. We checked all over the place before we found what we thought was the best materials.
Yep.
Made the most sense for the boot.
And a lot of on-foot testing,
Yeah.
right? Because it's a new last. Just want to make sure that the fit is equivalent, and obviously that it's comfortable, and what people expect with their Nick's boot.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So, Mike, you've made a few of these or been a part of that. What are your thoughts?
Well, first of all, I want to say how proud I am that Emily is like heading up this project with the customer service, because she's my niece.
Yep.
And I'm super stoked to come to work and see part of my family here.
We got a lot of your family here.
Yeah, I have quite a few.
Thank you.
So anyway, I didn't want to miss that. But of course, working in this handmade boot trade on and off since the early 90s, most of the shoes that I've ever built was a work boot. You know, it was going to get beat up, and it was going to go in the woods, and it was going to go to the farm. So, you know, I was always accustomed to kind of that style of construction. I'm excited about where we're headed in this direction. The heritage boots have been good to us, so I think we have some really, really talented shoemakers that'll be making these shoes. And I'm just really honored to be part of the team that is launching this new product. And it's going to be, I think, Nick's, we've always kind of prided ourselves on making the toughest boot there is.
And we still do.
Yeah.
And that's not going to change. But
And that's what I'm saying.
yeah.
This is going to be the toughest dress shoe you've ever
Yes.
seen. And that I'm proud of that.
Yeah.
I'm proud of that. So
Yeah,
And the most, and hopefully the prettiest and the
yes,
most
absolutely
Yeah.
gorgeous,
finished and everything like
gorgeous
that.
shoe,
Yep.
super fine wearing, but also it's going to serve you well for a long time.
Yeah.
Because we're not going to cut corners or change our tradition of solid handmade shoes
Yeah.
with this.
100%.
Yeah, I gotta say, you know, there's a lot of stress and like worry of like, is this gonna be a good boot going into it with the R&D process? The moment that I was like, okay, we got something here was when Mikey walked up to me after stitching one of the first like actual Brandle boots, not just like a prototype, and he's like, this is the nicest boot I have ever made.
Yep.
Like that was the moment I was like, yes, okay, we got something here.
Yeah. I mean, the thought behind it was like, you can spend, I know it's expensive, but there are a lot of boots that cost that much,
Yeah,
right?
sure.
But there are not very many that are made the same way, to the same standards, and with the same
Not this quality.
same quality. Yeah. You know, you can buy your designer shoe brand and it looks good, but you know, it's maybe it's cemented or you know, it's glued on there and is really not meant to last you for decades. And this one really is. So, you know, it's a timeless, trying to have a timeless classic style, but also something, and something that'll stay with you for many, many years.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Lucas, and do you want to talk through what makes Brandle different?
Sure.
Both from Nix and from kind of other things on the market.
Yeah, I mean, as we mentioned, none of the components are the same, so like there's a lot that's different compared to our boots. Some easily notable features, like it's fully lined, so you've got lining going all the way up the boot. So various, you know, we've got some calf skin liner. We're looking at some horse skin liner as well. It's a bellowed tongue rather than our traditional gusset tongue.
But right now we're using the calf liner.
Yeah, right now we're using the calf liner. But the tongue is bellowed, so it matches the rest of the boot, which is something that has been brought up before with our boots. You know, we've got our black and our brown.
Yep.
But it's all going to match. One big feature that is unseen, that is the leather toe puff. So our boots, for toe structure, we do a elastic toe normally, which is a fiber, like I think they're synthetic.
It's plastic.
It's
basically.
plastic. Okay.
Yeah.
This is actually a piece of leather that we are skiving and shaping and putting in the toe.
Yeah.
So it keeps that toe structure, but actually it breaks in really nicely. Sometimes elastic, there can be a very mild, you can sort of see where it stops.
Yeah.
I've been wearing mine, and like it's nice because it forms with the rest of your foot, but it still keeps that toe structure. A few other things, I mean, talking leather toe puff, the internal heel counter, insole, midsole, outsole, all of that leather is sourced from JR, which is really well known for their leather outsoles, but we kind of took it a step up. I think a lot of companies use them for outsoles only. Every internal veg tan leather component is from JR, which is known for having some of the highest quality
Yep.
edge channel that are out. What else? The brass plate we talked about. So that's a solid piece of brass. It's an eighth of an inch, 3/8 of an inch thick piece that we
It's about right.
that we cut
It's 3/8. Yeah.
3/8,
Yeah.
insert into the heel stack, sand to shape, and buff up really nicely. A lot of extra work to really just make the boots stand out a bit. The hard,
It's fun though.
yeah,
You know.
it is.
It's a fun shoe to work on.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, there's the first couple we made where we sanded it, and Serge went to bring them to me, and I like grabbed it, and it's like warm to the touch still, which is
Yeah, you got to be careful when you're sanding that heel.
Yeah.
It gets hot.
Well, and that's kind of, I think, the nice thing about leather and brass is that
Yeah.
it has a nice feel to it, right? In your hand and
Yeah.
on your foot. Yeah.
yeah.
Outsoles, we'll be offering the JR as well as the day night options as well.
Yeah.
To answer your question that you've gotten a few times, what are some of our rubber offerings? And those would be day night soles. And we'll make sure you kind of have what you need to communicate what those will look like and how they perform and everything like that.
Perfect.
And yeah, I mean, smaller, more refined hardware.
Yep.
And yeah, sorry, keep going.
I mean, the big part too, aesthetically, higher SPI, which is, I mean, Mikey, that's you.
About 50% higher.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just makes for overall cleaner look.
Yeah.
I mean, in your opinion, does that do much? Is there a functional difference there?
If you're going to do a single row stitch, for sure, it's
Okay,
going to
yeah.
definitely improve. It's going to improve wear. It's going to improve just the way the sole is going to be attached to the upper. If it's a single row stitch,
Right.
if we stitch them the way we stitch our regular boots, you have these huge stitches, and it just, not that that's not good quality for a work shoe, but mainly it's cosmetic.
Yeah.
But more stitches per inch is just going to be, it's just going to make it stronger
Yep.
in the long run. So
Yeah. So it is a single row stitch. So we're doing a tighter SPI. Just gives it overall that more of a dress shoe
classic.
look. Yeah.
classic stitch style.
We were doing a steel shank instead of what we normally do with a leather shank, mostly just to cut down on some of the bulk. Still gives you all the support and structure,
Yeah.
but you don't have that big bulky bottom on it. Another like little detail that to the untrained eye you wouldn't know is the heel counter.
Sure.
We're doing the two pieces. So typically our heel counter is just one piece that's wrapped around the back. This one, it's actually two halves that are sewn together underneath the backstay. And that is intentional to cut down on a lot of the overall bulk of the boot.
Yep.
I guess a big part too is just our cutting in general. I mean, we're doing one boot per side on this.
Yeah. So essentially, it'll just be the best leather that you can possibly get. And, a normal Nick's boot, which in my unbiased opinion has some of the best cutting in the world, you'll still get 2 to 2.5.
Yeah.
Whereas this one will be less than that just because it'll have to be the most perfect portions of the hide. And then, I think a nice feature is the stenciled brass nails.
Oh, absolutely.
At the bottom. So you can see those. I do think it's kind of funny, like with these with these leather soles, is like all this effort goes into making them perfect. And then the moment you step on some concrete, they get a little scuffed up. But that's kind of just part of the game. And then, of course, last but not least, personalized customer service from Emily. Again, I kind of think of it as you have your own like account manager rather than kind of a customer service call center that you're calling into.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Your
Your
queues
sales
or-
representative almost. Yeah. We hope you like it, guys, because we've put a lot of time, a lot of effort into it. And it's one of, I think, the coolest things we've done. And I know
It's definitely the coolest thing we've ever done.
we've got,
Without question.
I did the math, we've got over 100 years of combined experience making shoes on the people that'll be kind of dedicated to working on these. yeah, really, really proud and excited and grateful to everybody here for contributing to that. Just some housekeeping stuff. Boots are going in this month for the first run. Sizing. So this is an interesting thing. So at this price point, we will order a last for you. If you have an F, if you have a size we don't have on file or in stock, we'll get that for you. So if you big and skinny feet people out there, you can wear a Brandle. We'll make it happen. And then the new shell color. So it was bourbon the first time. This next run will be burgundy. So
Nice.
the classic
love that.
color 8, those will go fast. They always do. Yep. We're also working on some interesting things on the accessory side, some new buckles, and I think a higher end approach to hardware. And so that'll be part of the Brandle belts and bags and that sort of thing. So keep your eyes peeled for some of that stuff as well. Anything before we sign off? Emily, Kelsey, Mike, Lucas?
Every time I'm in here, I want to thank the customers. Thank you so much for buying our boots, man. Your purchases help us support our families.
Yep.
That's all.
100%.
It's very important to me.
Yep.
Every time. Thank you very much for your patronage.
Yep. Employees and customers, man. Team members and customers. Yeah. Well, on that note, I think that's a good way to end. Thank you all for being here. I'm Chyler Mal for Lucas, Mike, Emily, and Kelsey Lair's back.
Award-winning.
We're signing off. Thanks so much for being here, guys. Please let us know if you have any questions, and we'll talk to you next week. Bye. If you were a steak, what cut would you be? Kelsey?
I don't know very many cuts of steak.
So it should be pretty easy.
The only one I know is flank.
You're a flank steak? All right. Cool.
All right.
Okay. All right. I love a flank steak.
Yeah, me too.
It's great. Marinate it,
Yep.
you know? It's great.
Make like rolls.
Oh, you do the rillettes. Oh, that's awesome. What do you put inside of it?
Provolone, spinach.
Oh, okay.
It's killer.
I bet.
Wow.
I bet.
But they're really good with like stovetop stuffing.
Interesting. I've generally approached flank steak from like more of an Asian cuisine.
Yeah.
So
I like it that way too,
teriyaki
but-
rice,
Yeah.
stuff like that. That's cool. Okay. Lucas?
I'd be the scraps not fit for human consumption.
God, you full of shit.
I don't know.
Okay. Are you like edgy today or something? Like, what?
You're going through a phase.
Yeah.
Oh,
You just got a haircut. You look nice.
Thank you.
Okay. Well, you're doing great, and I hope you have a great weekend.
Thank you.
Come
Thank
back-
you.
come
I don't
back.
know. I don't know what that. I don't know how to answer that question.
Okay. Emily?
Probably a good old T-bone.
Solid choice.
Yeah.
Solid choice. Kind of get the best of both worlds there.
little New
Absolutely.
York strip, a little
Yep.
bit of filet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That's the way
Mike?
to go.
Probably tri-tip.
Oh, okay.
That's me.
Yeah.
Little grainy, little fat.
It's fair. Okay. Okay. Yeah. I'd go like ribeye. A lot of fat, you know.
So good.
The king of steaks.
Just
yeah.
the best.
Absolutely.